All right. Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. My name is Morgan Heitzman with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we're going to be jumping into our opportunities or our sales pipeline. Within our class here today, just note that you can use this chat box down below to ask any questions. I'll do my best to stop in real time and address those as we're navigating along here. And if by chance I miss any questions, just know I'm going to stay for a few minutes at the end of class here today to help answer those. Just note our YouTube is going to be housed. Just note our video is going to be housed on our YouTube page. I'm going to drop the YouTube link in the chat box down below for you. And then again, just note that at any point in time, if you ever have any questions or issues, just please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'll be happy to jump in and help troubleshoot any issues you have going on. All right, perfect. So as we're taking a look here, this is the KW Command login page. And within the login page, we're going to be navigating a few different topics or pages here today. But primarily what we want to do is we want to set up our opportunities or our transactions, so to say. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at our login page here. If this is your very first time logging into KW Command, just note that it is agent.kw.com. And once we make our way to this page right here, it's going to take your KW username and password. And for today's demonstration, we're going to use Scott's login. Now, on this page right here, this is the KW Command homepage. From here, we can navigate to a number of different locations simply by clicking on this red KW square in the top left-hand corner right here. By giving this a click, it should open up all of your navigational pages on the left-hand side here. And we're primarily going to be focused on our opportunities right here. It's going to look like two people shaking hands. Now, before we jump into our opportunities page right here, there's going to be a few setup pieces that we need to take care of first before we actually go through creating an opportunity and carrying it through the timeline here. One of which is going to be connecting your KW DocuSign. So if we take a look at this page right here, on the top right-hand corner, you should see your name along with your headshot or your image right here. Giving your name a click, it should bring a drop-down option here for us. And within this option, you should see settings. It's going to be third from the bottom. Now, within our settings page right here, if we're thinking about our opportunities, we're going to need to connect our DocuSign, or I know some market centers use dotloop. You'll have your dotloop connection here as well. But for today's demonstration, we're just going to connect our DocuSign because I believe this is what primarily most market centers are going to be using. So you'll see I already have a DocuSign connected here, but I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. And if this is your very first time finding the DocuSign connection here, if we scroll down, it should be housed underneath the title Digital Signature and Transactions. Underneath Digital Signature and Transactions, you may also find your dotloop if your dotloop isn't connected. But also keep in mind that it's the KW Command platform is really designed to use one or the other. So it'll all depend on what your market center is using. So in this case right here, we'll see DocuSign. We'll see this Connect Account button right here. Once we give this a click, it should bring us a pop-up to enter our first name, last name, as well as our preferred email address. Now, in this case right here, what this is this is the first initial part of us sending that KW DocuSign registration invite. So this email address right here is actually going to be the email that you sign into your KW DocuSign. This is also going to be the email address that DocuSign sends the registration invite to. So if we think about the world of logins right here, we have our username, but we don't quite have our password. Well, that password is going to come in the form of that registration email where you can kind of set that up. Now, if you sign up or try to send a registration under an email address and you get an ugly red error right below here, there's typically two different types of errors that you'll see below this DocuSign connection here. The first error will be a long string of red text, And this will indicate that your email address is already associated with a non-KW branded DocuSign account. So unfortunately, that email address would be incompatible to be used for this setup because it's already connected to a different account. The second form of error that you'll find right here is just a small error that says there already is an account that exists. And if you get that small text of error, this typically means that there is a DocuSign account connected, but it's already connected or there's already one set up. And in that case, we would just simply click the Login Here button. Now, if you've already went through your DocuSign registration, connected the DocuSign, and then somehow disconnected it, much like how you saw me do here, we can just simply click the Login Here button. I can adjust this. There we go. And I'll click Login to DocuSign. And what this should do is this should bring up a pop-up for me to complete my password. And again, this is the password that's that we created through that registration email. And once we click Login here, we'll give this a second. There we go. It'll say DocuSign is now ready and can be found within our opportunities in the Documents section. Yeah, if you guys already have your DocuSign registered, you are ahead of the game here. So yeah, that would be the very first step, just to make sure that that is connected here. Once it is connected, once it looks much like mine with an email associated down below and the disconnect account button right here, as we're taking a look, this indicates that your KW branded DocuSign account is connected. If it won't let you log into DocuSign, you may need to send a DocuSign password reset to that email address that you created, and it should give you a password reset. All right, now once we have our DocuSign connected here, we can kind of go back to, I'm just going to make my way back to the home page just to kind of reorient ourselves. There we go. And from the home page here, the second step would be, if we're thinking about a transaction or an opportunity, the second step would be to ensure that we have a contact within our database. Because everything within KW from KW Command says, to which contact do you want to apply this smart plan to? To which contact do you want to create an opportunity for? So it all kind of centralizes around the contact, or for the most part. Now, if we give this a click, this red KW square again, and then we take a look at our left-hand icons, you'll see the contact page right below the home page right here. We'll go ahead and give this a click. And again, here we just want to ensure that we do have the individual, the contact that we're creating an opportunity for. We want to make sure that we have them in our database. So again, simply go ahead and look for your contact here, Sally Sample. This is who we're going to create an opportunity for. And so we've already kind of created this contact, or this contact already lives within our database. Now, again, if you need to create this contact, if this contact isn't in your command just yet, just note on the top right-hand corner right here, we can click Add Contact, and you can go ahead and enter in that contact manually here. We also have an import option as well. So again, if you're brand new to KW Command and you need help importing your contacts into the system here, just again, please feel free to reach out to us. We should be able to kind of help you along there. Now what's cool here is, now that we've connected our DocuSign, and now that we have a contact within our database, now we can actually go ahead and create that opportunity. And there's two different ways that we can create an opportunity here inside of our KW Command. The first way is going to be within the actual contact's profile. So I can create an opportunity by clicking on this actual contact. I can also create an opportunity by, again, clicking on that red KW square and making my way to opportunities here. So you technically have two different ways that you can create opportunities. I would focus, I would think about what you're focusing on at that point in time to determine which side may work a little bit best for you. So for example, if I were very contact heavy right now, if I wanted to work on my contacts and make sure that my contacts are up to date, I may want to enter opportunities through this individual here, because I'm working on contacts, making sure everything's up to date. So from here, inside the contact's actual profile, I can go ahead and on the right-hand side, we have our timeline, but we also have our opportunities right here as well. So from here, we can actually create an opportunity based off of just Sally sample. I click create opportunity right here, and then we can fully create an opportunity right here on this page. And what's cool about this is it also kind of pulls in the client's name as well as like what side of the transaction you're on. Well, I guess I'd say really if you belong to a team or not, what side of the KW command profile it will pull from. So this page right here, this pop-up, create opportunity, this will look exactly the same on the next page, on the actual opportunities page. So again, just keep in mind, this would be if you're kind of scrolling through, you say next contact, previous contact, and you kind of want to work on the opportunities of a specific tag, you have that here. Now, if you're more transaction focused, if you want to work on your transactions, your listings, your buyers, the full cycle of that, it may be best to work in your opportunities here. So giving this a click, we make our way back to our opportunities page. And on the top right-hand corner, this blue button, we have create opportunity. And again, that same sort of pop-up that you saw within your contact profile. So either way you set this up, it'll be relatively the same. I would just think about where you're going to spend most of your time on the contacts or on the transactions. Now, I'm going to X out of here, and I'm going to take a look at this this opportunities page here. And when we click on opportunities right here, we're greeted with 1, 2, 3 different timelines. And with this, we also have a couple different options up at the top here as well. So taking a look at these options, you see the Dream Team, Scott Leroy, all opportunities and all discussions. If you are a solo agent, you may only have your name, all opportunities, and all discussions right here. So you may just only have these options right here. If you belong to a team, you may have your team opportunities as well as your solo personal opportunities right here. So again, if you are creating a transaction that's part of the team, you may want to enter create an opportunity underneath the team. If you want to create a personal opportunity, or if you're a solo agent, you'd only have that one option here. Now, taking a look at these 3 timelines, these are divided up into each side of the transaction here. So you have a listings timeline, you have a buyer's timeline, and then you also have your leases timeline right here. Scrolling down a little bit more, you also have your ratio, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. But scrolling back up here, let's kind of take a look at our listings here. I'm going to zoom this up just a little bit for us. There we go. Taking a look at our listings here and our buyers, there are 5 different sections that reflect the same on each side right here. So you have cultivate, you have appointment, you have active, under contract, and closed right here. So these make up the 5 different stages or phases that we are in both sides of the transaction. So phase 1 would be cultivating leads. Phase 2 would be setting appointments. Phase 3 would be having that active listing or that active buyer. Phase 4 would be having it go under contract, and phase 5 would be closing on the deal. So you have all of these across your buyer and listing timelines. However, right below these titles right here on these images, these are actually going to be clickable for you. So once you click on these, you will have a whole new set of options as well. And this is where it starts to be different between your buyers and your listings. So in Cultivate right here, if I give this a click, you have your Watch, Nurture, and Hot. We'll talk about adjusting or creating more sections here in a minute. But again, you'll really notice the difference between your buyers and your listings underneath that active, because on active you have your staging, showing, and your open houses. On your buyer side, you have your showing, negotiations, and and searching. So you have a couple different options to start to get a little bit more granular based off of the sites that you're on. Now, again, taking a look at these timelines again. So going right below these images, you'll have a colored circle with a number inside of them. Now, these are pretty cool because these indicate how many opportunities you have inside of each section right here. So, so as we take a look, Cultivate has 3, Appointment has 2, 4, 1, 0 right here. And you'll see a different set of numbers under my buyers right here. I absolutely love this feature because at any point in time, if anybody comes up and asks you, hey, what does your business look like today, right now? I can jump in here and I can say, well, right now, currently, I have 3 listings that I'm cultivating, 2 that are in appointment, 4 that are active, 1 that's under contract, and 0 closed. On my buyer side, I have 2 buyers that I'm cultivating, 2 that are in appointments, 4 that are active, 1 under contract, and 0 closed. So really quickly, you can identify what your business looks like at any point in time. So again, really cool to be able to just by these numbers down here. Now, taking it a step further right here, right below these numbers, you have your volume, and then of course the average time frame that your opportunities sit inside of each phase right here. So again, as I have 2 opportunities inside of Cultivate, the volume equals out to about 250. So right here in appointments, as I have 2, volume equals out to about 300. Right here, volume equals about 650. Right here, volume 250, and then since I don't have any buyers in my closed section right here, volume is 0. So so again, at any point in time, you can say, okay, well, I'm sitting on 3.667 on my Cultivate right here, so I may need to push this over through the timeline to kind of even this out. You also have a really cool thing all the way over to the right-hand side, and this is labeled your GCI. So, so your GCI is broken up between your potential income and your probable income based off of how many opportunities you have in this timeline and where they're at in this timeline. So your potential income, all of the opportunities that make up this timeline right here, you have a potential to earn $176,000. But the probable income, seeing as how I only have 1 under contract, I have 3 that I'm cultivating, 2 that are in appointments, my average, my probable income is probably going to be about $57,667. So so you have that ability to kind of view that, and as you start moving these opportunities through the timeline, these should start to fluctuate for you. So again, you can kind of see what your potential and probable income is. Now let's scroll down to the bottom here. So this ratio, what we were kind of taking a look at previously, this ratio is also a good bar graph, or sorry, not bar graph. It's a good pie graph on your potential and probable income right here. So taking a look down right here, we can see what our which sides of the transaction our business is made up of. So right here, we have 10 listings and we have 9 buyers, which means that we have about a 45% buyer and about 50% listing heavy. And then right over here, we have that probable and potential income, again, shown in that pie graph or that graph layout. Down below here, again, it shows you the total number of opportunities that you currently have right now, total probable and total potential right here. So it doesn't quite give you that total right here, but it does down below right here. And last but not least, we have the activity right here. So this activity, again, as you start making transactions through the months, I believe it is a solid month over, it's a solid 12-month span. So once this hits November, this is going to move back over to December right here. So you have a full solid 12-month view of your transactions. And then again, you have your ability to kind of organize it or filter it based off of either just your listings or just your buyers, anything that you want to specifically look at for that one solid year. All right, so that's the homepage of the of the opportunities here. So now we kind of get into the fun part, and we kind of get to kind of create an opportunity and kind of follow it through its timeline here. So on the top right hand corner, if we click on create opportunity, again, this will bring up this pop-up, this form right here for us to fill out to create that brand new opportunity. The first thing that we'll see on the top left-hand side is going to be our market center. Now, if you belong to one market center, this is perfectly fine. You may not have an option to toggle between anything else, but if you belong to multiple market centers, or if you're transferring from one market center to another, you may have the ability to give this a click and see a couple different market centers here. It's very important to note that whatever market center you choose is where you're going to send that opportunity to. And unfortunately, after you create the opportunity, you cannot adjust which market center you send it to. Okay, so this is set in stone once you hit create right here. So second thing is same rules apply if you are choosing a team or if you're choosing your personal account. We will not be able to swap that after we create the opportunity. And then the last thing to note, same sort of principle here, is your opportunity type. Is this a listing or is this a buyer? If I choose buyer and I hit create and I made that by accident, unfortunately, it will not give us the ability to adjust this. We'd have to archive the opportunity and recreate it. So giving this a click right here, if this is a buyer, we'll go ahead and plug in buyer right here. We'll search for our client. And again, this is why it's so important to make sure that you have your contacts added. But they did add another new feature here where if I didn't have that contact already inside my database, I can type that in now. See here. Oh, there you go, contact. So I can type contact and I can add a new contact right here from scratch. That's pretty cool. It's a newer-ish feature that they've added in right here, so it really kind of helps out. But again, name of the game is your contacts first. So I'm just gonna add fake name right here. There we go. And this is going to be our contact. This is going to be our client who is looking to purchase a property. As we scroll down here a little bit more, we have our co-buyer. Now we always kind of encourage everyone to keep your contacts separate, right? If you have a husband and wife, we would recommend you using John Smith as one contact and Sue Smith as one contact. We would not quite encourage you to say John and Sue Smith as one contact. The reason for this is the best example I like to use is maybe me and my wife may purchase a home this year, but maybe a few years down the line, me and my business partner will invest in a commercial location that has nothing to do with my wife at all. If you had a husband and wife on the same contact, it would always be, John and Sue Smith, right? So here we can actually say, right now we're going to do John Smith and the co-buyer Sue Smith, and then later down the line we'll do John Smith and then Frank Jones right here for the business partner. So here we'll actually be able to kind of separate that out, but still kind of keep them together. Next, you have your opportunity name, and this is perfectly fine right here. It generally generates a name of the contact plus what side of the transaction they're on. So right here it says fake name buyer. If I were to change it, the opportunity type to a listing right here, it'll say fake name listing. If you're using a buyer, this is perfectly fine right now because, we're just starting out, we're going to look for properties. We haven't figured out a place that they absolutely love just yet. So opportunity name, fake name buyer, that's perfectly fine right here. If you are, if you have a listing opportunity, we would encourage you to add in the listing address right here. So 123 Main Street. The reason for this is as you're starting to kind of go through and as you're starting to send forms and files to your market center, to your principal reviewing broker to approve, they may not know the name of your contact, your lead, your client, but again, they'll search the documents based off of the address, and this may be able to kind of get it to them a little bit quicker for you. So again, if it's a listing, we may encourage you to enter in the listing address. Keep in mind that you will still be able to see who it belongs to after it's created. Next, we have our custom tags, and much like your contacts here, you can tag out your transactions however you see fit. So, would you like to tag this out as a geolocation, as a first-time home buyer, as a certain price range? Anything that you would like to use a tag to really identify your opportunities or your transactions, you'll have the ability to do so here. If there's not a tag, you can type something out and then you can hit create right here. Next, we have our estimated close date and our time frame. Depending on the transaction, right, which side, you may or may not have this information, but it's not required in order to proceed forward. So we will need to fill this out a little bit later on once we're completing our commissions. But just note that we can actually leave this blank right here for the time being if we don't have this information right here. Actually, all three of these sections: estimated close date, time frame, and estimated listing price. But the last three we do have to enter in: our commission rate, our opportunity phase, and our opportunity stage. Now, our phases are going to be what we just mentioned: our cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. Our stages are going to be those little boxes inside of our cultivate, or inside of all of our phases here. So remember, inside of cultivate, they had the watch, nurture, and hot as we're building that relationship with that lead. So your phase right here, we're going to start it off. It always kind of starts off in the cultivate watch section at the very beginning of the timeline. However, if you're halfway through a transaction with a client and you just forgot to enter this opportunity in, we can go all the way up to active negotiations right here. So that's how far up we can go. But under contract and closed, those act like a locked in deal. Let me go ahead. Let me create this cultivate watch right here. Under contract and closed right here, this acts like a locked in deal. So we won't really be able to edit too much of this until we bring it back to a different previous active, appointment, or cultivate right here. So again, keep that in mind when you do have opportunities under these two stages right here. Now let's talk about where that opportunity went right here. I kind of backed around. I clicked a little bit before we got to see that. But truthfully, since we chose it in the cultivate watch section, your opportunity is going to appear inside of that cultivate button. So as you see, it's going to say 123 Main Street and then fake name right here. So we do have the ability to view that client's name, even if we change that title there. So that's perfectly fine. Now, from this point right here, you saw briefly, but you can actually click and drag these over to different sections of your timeline. And then once you're done, so we'll say once they're ready to do business, we can actually drag them over to appointment here. And then we'll carry them down through that timeline, and then we'll drag them to active. We'll carry that through that timeline and then move it to under contract and then closed right here. So this is how we move our opportunities through the different timelines here. Now, I accidentally snapped this over here to active right here. But one thing to keep in mind is as we're taking a look, when I grab an opportunity right here, each one of these sections has a dotted line around the designated section right here. So if I were to click on this, you see that gray dotted line over all those squares. We have to make sure that this dotted line turns blue in order for this opportunity to catch right here. So you see how it turns blue right here? If I snap this back, it'll move to appointment, and then we can go ahead and find it in appointment right here. But if I take it, if I kind of hover over here and it does not snap, you see how it's still gray? If I let go, it'll snap back to where it was originally. So here it has to turn blue in order for us to be able to move it over. All right, perfect. So we have this 123 Main Street right here. You also have the ability to click on this title right here. And if we click on 123 Main Street, it'll open us up into the details section of our opportunity. And truth be told, right when you create an opportunity, it'll pop you in right here. Okay. So, but all you have to do is back out, and then you'll be able to find it within your timeline. So from this point onward, after we click on the 123 Main Street, after the title, everything we do from this point onward is going to be for this one opportunity. So we won't have to worry about, are we mixing documents with another transaction or anything like that? Everything's going to happen for 123 Main Street from here on out. Now, first and foremost, before we get through all these different sections right here, just note right down below here, this is going to act much like kind of like our contact profile, but it's going to be for our opportunity, where the left-hand side is going to be all the information that we've entered about the opportunity, and the right-hand side maybe some stuff that we have to fill in a little bit later on. So as we're taking a look right here, it's maybe a little bit hard to see, but you have a couple pencils, little pencil icons. And if we give this a click right here, you'll see that that we'll be able to edit a few things. Like we'll be able to add some more tags. We can even change the contact name. If I accidentally put in a fake name and it should have been John Smith, right? I can go ahead and adjust that. But again, keep in mind the things that we cannot adjust is this market center right here, or the team, or which side of the transaction this is on. So we can't change this from a listing to a buyer. So, but you can adjust all this other sort of information as well. And as you see on the left-hand side, it'll have appointment date, scheduled, agreement one, all this information right here you can fill out. But in this case right here, as we're dealing with a listing, keep in mind when we create a buyer opportunity, it's going to look virtually identical. There's only going to be two things that you may not see inside of your buyer opportunity. One of which is going to be this button up here, select from listings. This just allows us to pull in a listing because this is a listing opportunity. The second thing that you will not see in the buyer's opportunity is going to be this marketing, because marketing, we're really just trying to market to sell the listing. And so the buyer doesn't quite need any marketing. So as we take a look, everything else is going to be virtually the same though. So we'll go ahead and first select from listings right here. And I'm going to pull in a 123 Main Street listing to be branded with this opportunity here. And what's cool is once I choose this button, it's going to pull in all this information for us. So I won't have to go in here and type it in manually. So right here, I'll just click select from listings. Since I don't have any personal listings, I'm going to click on show all listings. And then from here, I'm just going to type in 123 Main Street. And we're going to go ahead and select a 123 Main Street here. Once I select this, just keep in mind 123 South Main Street. Gosh, a lot of these are off market, but we'll go ahead and select this one anyways. As you see right here, it pulled in all that information here for us, so we didn't have to do that extra data entry. So now that we have this branded information in right here, again, we can move over from details to marketing, documents, offers and commissions, notes, and timeline. Our menu options aren't quite towards the top here. They're actually kind of towards, like 1/3 down the line. But the next most important section is going to be our document section right here. Now, our document section is going to be where we go to submit documents to our market center to be approved. And full disclosure here, my list may look a little bit different than your list. This is just because every single market center has the ability to create their own checklists. Okay, so there's a high chance that mine's going to look different than yours. But for the most case right here on the left-hand side, we'll click on pick checklist type. This is where we go to first pull up our checklists. And then right here, it'll kind of give you a number of different options. Again, you may not have as much as I have right here, but you should at least have like a residential listing. We'll click on residential listing right here, and then two things happen. The first thing that happened that you could see is it pulled up a whole checklist drag and drop for our files right here. The second thing that happened is right when we chose residential listing on the left-hand side, it actually opened up 3 different categories for us right down below here. Our listed, under contract, and our closed right here. So each part of the transaction is going to ask for specific types of documents here. So again, your checklist may look different than mine, but it should have relatively that same concept. So taking a look at our listed here first, looking over to the right-hand side, you'll have your listed. It'll show you where you're going to be pulling your files from. So right here we have our computer that we can drag and drop our files to. And as we kind of scroll down a little bit more, it's going to ask us which type of document that they're specifically looking for. So here's going to be a disclosure, an agreement, disclosure, authorization, and so on and so forth. Moving over a little bit further to the left here, it'll actually have a title of that specific document that your Market Center wants you to upload. So your CMA right here, your information and brokerage services, your active MLS printout, and so on. So as we kind of go through here and we kind of pull, let me drag and drop a PDF right here. As we go to drag and drop, you'll see that all the way to the left-hand side right here, it went from not uploaded all the way to uploaded right here. So it'll actually start to show you the process of these documents right here. I did skip a section right here, and this is going to be your requirement section. So you're going to have some documents that are going to be required, some that are going to be conditionally required, contingent on the property, and some are going to be optional. So just taking a look down right here, you'll take a look. There's going to be some that are required. You'll see this conditional right here, conditional, and then you'll have, again, those optionals as well. So you have all these recommendations right here, or requirements, and then you have that upload. Once you upload a document, so our active MLS right here, once you upload just one document, your submit to Market Center button should become valid for you. So if I remove this, you'll see it kind of grays out here. So you have to at least submit a document in order to submit to Market Center. All right. Next, before we jump into the start of transaction, next, as we're taking a look right here, I'm in listed right here. If I go over to under contract, this title also changes as well. Under contract, and then closed right here. So closed. So each one of these sections right here, if you are working with a buyer, or actually either side, right? If you're working with a listing or a buyer and the deal falls through, but you're still working with that client, what we can do in this case right here, say I upload half of these documents, we're almost done, or all the documents and then something fell through, we can actually click on this listed or the title right here. And once we give this a click, there's going to be an option that says add version. And what this will do is this will actually give you a blank slate while still retaining your previous information. So if I click, let me go ahead and let me add like just a number of different PDFs right here. So in this example right here, I'm working with a client and the deal's going well so far, but something happened where halfway through the deal, it kind of fell through. So now I have all of these. I already submitted them to the Market Center. They're already kind of approved, but I need to start over because we're still looking for a client to purchase this listing. So in this case, again, we'll click on listed right here. We'll add version. Name it whatever version you'd like. In this case, I'll just leave it with listed version 2. And when I create that new version, you see it gave me that blank slate right here. But of course, at any point in time, if we still needed to retain that info, we still had it on our old version. So again, really cool. So you don't have to cancel your opportunities. You don't have to lose or delete your opportunities just if a deal falls through. Now, if you're no longer working with that client, then yeah, that might be a good opportunity to archive or click as a lost opportunity. But in this case right here, you can go ahead and still use that same one. Now, another thing to kind of keep in mind is right next to submit to Market Center, you have this start a transaction button. So it's going to be dark gray right here. You will only see this button if we actually connected our DocuSign within our settings right here at the very beginning. So That's the only way you'll get this button to show up. This button will look one of two colors, and this is a good indicator for you on what's going on here. The first color is going to be dark gray. This means you have DocuSign connected to your settings, but you don't have a DocuSign room connected to this opportunity just yet. In this case, we can click on Start a Transaction. It should give us a new tab right here. And then it should create a DocuSign room for us. Now, there may be a little caveat depending on how long it's been since you signed into your DocuSign. It may ask you to sign in again really quick, but then it should take you to this DocuSign room where it should reflect that same sort of information as your opportunity. So 123 Main Street, South Main Street. There we go. We have that same information here. The second color of the button is going to be kind of like a white with blue text right here with a link next to it. This indicates right here that you do have a DocuSign account connected, and you do have a DocuSign room already created for this opportunity. So at this point, we say, oh, there's already a room here. Let's go ahead and jump into that room. And here we go. Now, again, keep in mind, it all depends on per market center, but you may not have any forms in here just yet. So you may actually have a blank slate, which is pretty standard. So, so again, if you have a blank slate right here and are not seeing documents, keep in mind that is to be expected. So this is what it would typically look like right here. So, so again, in this case, I'm not going to go too far in depth into DocuSign right here. There's a full DocuSign training. So again, if you want to learn all the ins and outs of DocuSign right here, but I do want to at least emphasize the fact that this is where you go to pull your market center and your board forms to fill out and send out to your clients to get signatures. Okay, so you can pull all these forms in, you can fill them out, send them out, they'll come back here signed. And once they come back here signed, all we have to do is, you'll see that it kind of, before all we had is attached files from computer, but now we have the option to attach files from our DocuSign. So now we can kind of scroll down through here. And if I had any signed documents, I should be able to just easily select them right here. So think of your DocuSign as a one-stop shop for you to kind of work on your documents, send them out, have them be sent back, and then once they're all signed and pretty and ready to be submitted to your market center, then you can go ahead and submit them right here. All right, let's go ahead and scroll up here a little bit more. Once you're done submitting these documents, right, and once you carry through to the under contract closed categories within your timeline, we're gonna next move over to our offers and commissions. Now, in order to complete a commissions report, you must first enter in an offer and accept that offer. So when offers start coming in for this listing right here, for this 123 Main Street, we can start plugging them in as offer number 1, offer number 2, so on and so forth. And we can kind of look at them as in a timeline order to see which offer may be best for us or for our clients, right? Clicking on create offer right here, it's going to take you through a timeline. So offer details, the parties involved, the terms, and the agent analysis. So the version name, we're just going to leave it with initial offer. The offer date is going to be today's date. Close date is going to be the 9th. Sure. That seems like a good enough time. And then next, we're just going to have all parties. And keep in mind your offer date, you have this calendar here. So if you have a specific date in mind that you want to adjust it to, it should be relatively easy. So next with our parties. So our parties are already kind of filled out based off of what side of the transaction that we're on. So we're on the listing side. So right here has the seller's information. It also has my information down below as the seller's agent. So what we don't have yet is the buyer, right? The buyer name, the buyer info. So once you start getting that info, when people start reaching out to you saying they're interested, right? We can start plugging this in. So we'll type in John Smith, name at email.com. There we go. And so as we start filling this out, the last thing we need is that associate's name. Okay, so we have our buyer's information, we have our buyer's agent information, we have our seller's information, and our seller's agent information. Now, again, keep in mind, just the associate name is required, as well as the buyer name as well. So we don't actually need to fill in the email, phone number, fax, address, or any of this information unless we would like to. So next, we're going to go ahead and click on terms right here. And what is this offer, right? How much is a cash amount? How much is a finance amount? So I'm just going to enter in some random digits here. There we go. So cash amount is $60K, finance amount is $350K, sales amount is $410. So again, as we scroll down a little bit more, we have our earnest amount. What percent of earnest? Again, as we adjust this percent right here, it should adjust that earnest amount as well. Last but not least, you have your optional fee, your termination options. So saying this offer is only going to be valid for 5 days, and seller will contribute blank to the service contract, and seller will contribute blank to the settlement costs. So I'm going to leave this kind of blank right here for now. There's not going to be an optional fee right here. So next I'm going to move over to the agent analysis. And again, this is going to be the pros and cons and summary, right? So client really liked this. Client was really concerned about that. In addition, if you make any kind of comps, this, the buyer will be extremely happy, right? So, so you have your pros, cons, and summary right here. Again, I don't have too much information on this listing right here, so I can't really plug anything in, but I can hit save right here. And once you enter in all that information, you have what we see as a offer right here. Now, it kind of gives us all the information at a glance right here, what the buyer's name is, what the buyer's agent name is. Again, pre-approved, pre-qualified, that again indicates right there for us. And again, let me add one more offer here. We'll do initial offer 2. And then we're going to go ahead and Sally Sue. And I'm not going to enter any other additional information, but let's go. There we go. And then we'll hit terms again. And this may be a little bit better. Oops. There we go. So as we're scrolling down here a little bit more, I didn't adjust that, correctly. However, it's kind of good for a reference still, just because that price didn't add up to that same seller price. But as we're scrolling down here a little bit more, that percentage, that earnest amount, that optional fee, seller will contribute $500 towards residential service contract, and seller will contribute blank to settlement costs. So we'll hit agent analysis. Love the hardwood floors, but the roof needs to be fixed. If we were able to come to an agreement where the roof is fixed before accepting terms, client would be willing to move forward. Pretty much something similar to that, right? So we'll hit save right here. And now we have 2 different offers. So once we start plugging in all of these offers right here, we can go ahead and start reaching out to our client who's selling the property, right? Say, hey, we have a few offers that came through. I'd love to kind of sit down and have you take a look at them. But better yet, another fantastic feature that they have here is the ability to email these listings out, these offers out. So as we're looking at here, we haven't quite accepted any of them just yet, but giving these 3 dots a click right next to accept and reject right here, you have a few different options. You can add a negotiation. You can edit the offer if you accidentally made a mistake. You can add an analysis. You can send offer or remove offer. The send offer option is fantastic right here. So all I have to do, it automatically pre-populate my client's information. So name@email.com, you have a new offer. Great news, there's a new offer on your listing. And check out this email that's auto-generated for you to already send out to your client. So looks pretty nice. So you don't have to really do anything other than click that send offer, or if you wanted to adjust this great news or adjust kind of this right here, you can do so. But in this point, and if we scroll down, you do have some branding as well. But at this point, you can just quickly, easily, professionally send out these offers to your clients without really having to do too much. So I can hit send offer right here. Now I'm going to hit back out. I'm just going to accept one of these offers right here. I'm going to accept the one that doesn't have a termination notice. And as we scroll down, you'll see that my accept and reject buttons have changed to a change response and manage commission. So, and I don't have the option to accept any other offers. So I'm going to change my response here. There we go. And again, you'll see accept and reject. The moment you accept, these buttons will change to change response and manage commission. So now we've kind of gotten to the point where we can actually fill in or submit our commissions report for this opportunity right here. So clicking on manage commission, this will pull in all the information from our opportunity, from our offer, and put it all together for this commission summary. First and foremost to note is it should give you any kind of red ugly errors right here if you need to enter in any information. So it won't let you proceed forward without doing so. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and click edit general information right here. You'll see we have that price, we have the commission rate, total commission percentage right here, and then the total number of units. You also have your contract date and close date. But remember, when we were creating that opportunity, we actually skipped through our contract date just because we weren't quite sure what it was going to be just yet. But now, since we have this right here, our close date's the 9th. So let's just say our contract date's the 5th, close date's on the 9th. And then once we hit save changes right here, that should do away with that red error. It'll also update the right-hand side in real time for us. And this is kind of that information that we're going to submit to our MCA, to our market center. Now, scrolling down a little bit further, this is a small little section, but it's also a pretty important section right here. So your payment, you have two options. You have add another agent, and you have add a co-broker payment. So if you belong to a team, if you created this opportunity under a team and you need to share this transaction with other team members, we can click add another agent right here. And it should, again, I created this underneath the personal account, so you may not see anything, but right here is where all of your team members should be located right here. So we just type in a team member name. We should be able to plug that team member in, say this person also helped with the transaction here, and they get a 0.5 of the units. So, so as we're kind of scrolling down through here, you also have the option to, let me calculate right here. We do have the option to add in any additional deductions, any kind of donations, and then at the very bottom here, any kind of extra payments like bonuses, deductions, things like that. So any type of additional things that we need to pay towards. Inside referral, outside referral, bonus, anything that we want to add here. So add another agent right here, right next to payments. That's going to be for team members. Add a co-broker payment right here. This is going to be for referrals. So if you have a referral that you need to send a referral fee out, you can go ahead and say, well, this is a 12%. Whoops. That's not right. We'll say 1.5 right here, commission amount. And then what's the brokerage details? So this referral actually came from out of state. So I need to enter in that representative's name, phone number, and then office, cell, fax, other. That doesn't really matter too much. But as we go down here, you have your company DBA name and then your EIN or your SSN. So again, this is to send our referral fee out to the person who sent us the referral. So legal name, address, city, state, and zip code. And then once you submit this, or once you hit save right here, it should update right here. So when you go to submit your commissions report, your MCA will have all the information needed to send that referral fee out for you. So scrolling down a little bit more right here, we have our basically our profile right here. So we can kind of see what's going on, what our gross commission is, what our royalty and cap is like. Again, any kind of ENO or Bold Scholarship or donations, we have that here as well. And we can click at edit agent payment right here. And again, if I wanted to throw, $20 to the Bold Scholarship or whatever, I can do so. Sorry, $100 to the Bold Scholarship and $20 to, any kind of profits, right? We can do that also. Once we adjust these, let's do 500 and let's do 100 here. Actually, sorry, 50 and then 50. So that should start to adjust out here for us to be able to kind of edit those changes. So hit save changes here. And again, you see it adjusted in real time here for us. Last but not least, again, you can kind of see your cap right here, your actual and your balance. So again, you can kind of adjust that accordingly, see how close you are to capping. And then up on the top right hand corner right here, once you're done, everything looks nice for you. You can submit to your market center, to your MCA for approval. If anything looks a little bit weird, you can always add note as well. So this is a note just from you to your MCA in case anything looks a little bit weird. You can go ahead and add that in and then submit to market center. Alrighty, I think that may be about it here for us today. And again, thank you guys for sticking with it. I know there's a lot of information here today. But again, I'm going to stick around for a few extra minutes if you guys have any questions at all. And again, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, again, reach out to us, support at scottleroymarketing.com. Also know that this training is going to be housed on our YouTube page. It should take probably about 24 hours or so to upload. But yeah, absolutely. Have a fantastic weekend, you guys, and reach out if there's anything that we can do to help.